What? What? Hi, everybody! I'm Nathaniel Hoover, a staff writer for GameCola.net, and this is ridiculous! I think I just broke Mega Man 6. I think I just broke Mega Man. Okay, I give up. I don't know what's happening anymore. Okay, there must be some sort of explanation for this. Is not an appropriate place to fight the final boss. What? Again? Again? Somebody fix the targeting scanners on the teleporter, please. Wait a second. This wacky boss select screen kinda looks familiar. Okay, I don't remember there being a whale tail on Mr. X's fortress, but Game Genie. Yes, that must be the reason for all of this nonsense. Two codes in particular, this one and the infamous IKAAAE. Triple AE. Triple AE. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Let's start out using just the first code, the GPS one, which is rather appropriate because the bosses can lock in on your location and find you. Now, a more practical cheater might use Game Genie to gain infinite lives, or to skip past the first level of a game and jump straight to the second one, but I am an impractical cheater. I enjoy needing to get up in the boss's faces and shoot them at point-blank range with a buster that doesn't really seem to be firing anything. This kind of thing is fun to me. Also, I'm weird. So this video is a collection of the amazing bizarrities that can occur when using one or both of these Game Genie codes. Also, I've used save states on an emulator to access different places that you can't get to if you're using these codes. Because there's so much that can happen with Game Genie and save states, I encourage you to play around with this for yourself, because as it stands, this is just a sampler. Gotta love the sped up music. Gotta love the slowed down music, too. That's IKAAAE mangling the graphics here, your tax dollars at work, and any stage that you select from the main menu will take you to Flame Man stage, where you'll fight all 8 Robot Masters at once. Unfortunately, this is not the epic showdown everyone hopes for. I hope for, because it's mostly just Blizzard Man and his blizzardy bits. And once you've taken out all of the Robot Masters, you'll probably find that there's just one left that you can't actually shoot or do anything with. So, this could have been the coolest thing ever, but in fact it's just odd. It's just weird. Here we are again with both codes this time, and a full complement of weapons. Gonna be difficult to get through the stage this way. Still a little more playable than Cheetah Men 2, but you're not gonna be able to do much. There is a wall that you reach eventually if you manage to go all the way to the right, but I'm not gonna take you that far. I'm also not going to give you technical explanations of everything that's going on here, in part because I'm not entirely sure myself, though I have my guesses, and in part because record-keeping was woefully poor during the recording of this footage, and I don't actually know how I triggered some of these things in the first place to be able to explain them. But spikes, as with anything I've ever said that's been inaccurate or has hinted at any kind of uncertainty, I'm sure that there will be exactly 8.6 bajillion people who are more than willing to set the record straight, which I appreciate the first couple of times. Why am I not teleporting? Here we are again with the GPS code, except this time, when I get hit and knocked backwards, I don't trigger a boss battle, which is what usually happens. Interesting. So, it's the same level architecture, but I'm leaving holes in it. It's the backgrounds from later on in the stage. So I know this is a big pillar that I fly over, and I drop down the hole and go on to the next. Death. Haha, fooled you. So this is the AAA code, which is appropriate because it sounds like my car broke down and the horn won't stop. This loveliness can be achieved by entering the game Genie code and then loading a save state of a stage already in progress. Otherwise, as mentioned and demonstrated, you face off against garbled, useless robot masters here in Flame Man stage. You remember Flame Man stage with the randomly bouncy floors and the ball-dropping tanukis and the oil that turns into a conveyor belt when it feels like it? Don't ya? 'Cause I don't. It kinda looks more like what happens if you use this code and load up a save state in Yamato Madomato Man stage, and then die. You end up here. You end up here. This next screen kind of reminds me of a part of Fireman stage in Mega Man 1. You know, the layout and the color scheme and how jumping off this ladder makes you dead. Now, combining the GPS and AAA codes and loading up a save state later on in the game yields this. You don't even need to get hit to trigger the boss fight. You just need to turn around. Oh, this guy is hard enough to hit to begin with, let alone needing to get all up in his blinky eye bit. Skipping ahead. Alright, this fortress is difficult enough to take seriously as it is with the giant X on top. Gluing more of the alphabet to the side isn't gonna help. And adorning it with the heads of your enemies is only intimidating if they're on spikes, and not grinning. So we're back to the GPS code, and I want to take this moment to apologize for any issues with the audio, or especially video quality. I don't know what was going on while I was recording this. I even caught the little edge of the bottom of the emulator window. That's just unprofessional. Who leaves that in a video anyhow? Well, me. Me leaves that in. But it's for a good cause. If you just follow along here. I've been frozen in the pit. It's like Mega Man 3 glitches all over again. Oh, great, a rematch. This is gonna turn out well.
Hey, are you fighting Centaur Man again?
No!
Is that a waterfall?
No!
Hey, I'll take the water, you take the fall.
No more falling. No, nothing. No falling. Well, this is an inconvenient place to fight Nightman, tucked away in his little night nook. Okay, this'll mess with your head a little bit. I switched to Rush Punchy Thingy, and now the visuals are all over the place. The level architecture itself remains the same, but now, technically, Nightman's stuck in a wall! Oh good. Now Game Genie is taking a page from the Mega Man 3 for Game Boy playbook and having us fight a boss in the antechamber, who is stuck to the ceiling. How is it that Nightman is more difficult to hit when he's standing still? This isn't a very effective way to fight him. I propose a new strategy. Winning! Let's try that. Let's try winning, please. I don't think it's gonna matter much. Oh, you're a punk! You can't do that! That just... Well, none of this really works the way it's supposed to. Oh, for example, there's not even a... Okay, I'll crush that block. Those aren't spikes. I'm totally safe here. Totally safe! I know, shooting him in the back is unchivalrous. He jumped at me from the other side of the screen. What am I supposed to do? What? Okay, we'll work with that. Boing, boing. And we'll work with nothing. Oh, no, that one was intentional. Constantly going back to Flame Man stage does have its merits when you're using the AAA code. Look at the background! It's doing that warbly sun heat thing. Meanwhile, I'm doing that can't remember how to play video games thing. This is cool. I demand more glowing floors in my life. Also, spontaneously detonating salmon. C4 seafood. Wait, is that water? It looks like that block sprung a leak. That's really cool. Thanks to the AAA code, this game is much more interesting with enemies in places where they don't belong, and Mega Man's on ladders where they don't belong. This is a mess. Blizzard Man, I can't take you or your backup dancers anywhere. Great, now I'm interrupting your costume party in which everyone is dressed like Strike Man, dressed like Waldo, and I'm stuck again. You know what? I've got a hankering for a real Blizzard Man battle. Come on down here, we'll settle this in the air, you floaty man. I wonder if anybody else enjoys the notion of surprise boss battles in the middle of a stage the way I do. Let me take a poll. Let me not take a poll. It's painful. And that's also painful. I kind of miss boss fights with interesting architecture like this. Blizzard Man, you're not an architecture. Because for a while there after Mega Man 4, there's not a lot in the way of neat level geography, like having bottomless pits in the boss chamber. It's mostly just boss in a box. No stairs, no ladders, no platforms, no spiked floors. Whoa, that's kind of cool. Oh, quit dragging me around the stage! It's like Guybrush and LeChuck here! I concede, you win! You're such a bully! You know what I do to bullies? I explode! Let us travel back to a safer code, the AAA code, where I still die. Okay, you know what? We'll go back to the GPS code. We'll go back to the GPS code, and I will fight this guy, and you know what? No, I'm not going to fight this guy. I refuse to partake in any more of the violence. I am getting out of here. Bye! Well, it seems like conflict is inevitable, so let's get this over with. That was easy. There's no point to all of this fighting! I mean, it's just one battle after another. It's a vicious cycle. It keeps repeating itself. Keeps repeating itself, repeating itself, repeating itself. I know! Let's use diplomacy. We'll talk our way through all this. I can't read lips, but a hug is universal. Okay, fine! You want to take this outside? Oh, now he's mouthing off to me. Looks at the dice. Critical failure on the diplomacy check. Boy, I bet you're getting tired of that wonderful boss battle music, so let's play a stage for a change. Oh, and I wasn't being facetious when I said wonderful boss music. I actually do mean it. And I am actually through a wall. Oh, how you taunt me. This is disconcerting enough for somebody who knows this game, let alone someone who's never played Mega Man 6. That actually caught me by surprise. Wait, if that's the X-Crusher Mr. X rides around in, does that mean it's not really a boss, but just an aggressive piece of scenery? I propose we find out. Better take your Dramamine, kids. You're in for some motion sickness. Sickness. Oh, I'm sorry. I punched him nauseatingly loose from the stage. Admittedly, though, this is pretty cool. I could use more boss battles like this. I could use more practice at boss battles like this. Oh, but I succeeded. To no avail. I demand a more satisfying conclusion to a boss fight. How did you fit in the dispenser? This is gonna take a while, especially with my projectiles not projecting, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Ooh, nicely done, me. Kind of like that transition there. So this is the AAA code and the GPS code, and Wily kind of looks like a deranged metal. Figures that I would get the victory band waking up from a nap. Too slow, you guys. I'm just gonna cut to the highlights of whatever this is that we're watching. The credits. Yes. So I'll be skipping. La 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 la. Well, I'm skipping. You can't see. Well, it's really more like frolicking. It's all about the music here, though. Uh-huh. All right. The other slow music through this section isn't as uniquely catchy, and the visuals I'm cutting out are either stuff you've already seen or mostly black backgrounds. This would have been a cool way to fight Windman amongst bottomless pits in a forest of ugly. Eulogy for Yam Man. I would have come up with another joke about his name, but I've run out of Yammo. The following debacle is made possible by viewers like me, who use the GPS and AAA codes to inflict total carnage on this game. Viewer discretion is advised. No, really, there's like flashing and stuff. We can start the stage now. Or we can bounce around some more. I'm actually a little concerned about what I'm about to get into. I think I'm gonna let this speak for itself. Aw, and I was right at the boss doors, too. Watch carefully for my very brief Earthbound Moonside moment. There. Well, it's about time to wrap this up. It's getting kinda late, and I try not to record anything after nightfall.